Well, the latest effort from fiscal conservatives fell short of the finish. The House Health and Welfare is holding House Bill 419. The bill would attach additional conditions to Idaho's Medicaid program. Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, which runs the program in the state, already has the second largest budget behind education. And it's only gotten bigger since Idaho voters overwhelmingly approved Medicaid expansion in 2018. Expansion was to provide health care coverage for people who didn't already qualify for it and also could not afford their own private health plan. Medicaid expansion is a $1 billion program. And Republicans say it is time to trim the fat. But supporters of expanding it say that's just a disguise for the actual goal, which is to repeal the expansion entirely. Here's Andrew Bartline.
The bills piling up at the Idaho State House can feel like a shuffled deck of cards. But some in the majority party are concerned about what they call a house of cards.
It's a much larger issue than just Medicaid, truly.
Representative Jordan Redmond may as well be the pit boss.
Well, because our current national debt is $30+ trillion, and at some point you can't pay the interest on that.
So his interest today is tied up in the $1 billion that funds Idaho's Medicaid expansion.
Last year's budget for Medicaid was more than the actual budget for the entire state 10 years ago.
To cut the cost, the bill has multiple mandates, including a work requirement for able-bodied enrollees, capping expansion at 50,000 people, an eligibility review every 2 years, and the rejection of gender reassignment surgery with these public dollars.
To make sure that we have our Medicaid program in place for those that truly do need it, and putting some sideboards on the department and on our program so that we can continue it long term.
But in public testimony?
Yes, I was just going to say, I just don't find any winners in this bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The people picked out the sponsor as a card shark.
Yes, pointing the finger.
And Jeff Faraday wants to cut the debt.
A sleight of hand. It's an attempt to pull the wool over the voters' eyes in Idaho.
If all conditions are not approved by the federal government and implemented by July 2025, the bill would repeal Medicaid expansion entirely.
They are absolutely setting it up for repeal because they know those sideboards and guardrails will be rejected.
Idaho isn't the first state to try and make rules to cap the pot, meaning legally it's a gamble.
No other state has succeeded in getting the federal government to sign off on the exact same requests that this bill puts forward.
Luke Mayville spearheaded Idaho's Medicaid expansion in 2018.
Remarkable that some of our legislators keep coming back to try to subvert the will of the voters.
The federal government covers 90% of Idaho's Medicaid expansion budget, and supporters say its repeal would actually cost the state money.
The bottom line is this bill is bad for the people of Idaho, and it's also bad for taxpayers.
Both sides agree the money on the table isn't free.
Let's bring our own money back to serve our own people.
But someone has to feed the pot.
Current trajectory, we're not going to be able to sustain it.
While the cards didn't fall his way today in committee.
House Bill 419 will be held in committee.
And amid the raising accusations,
Medicaid expansion will just vanish.
Representative Redmond says he's playing a straight hand.
Yeah, I heard that a lot. Simply not true. This truly was for guardrails. Honestly, if we hit all those guardrails, we would keep expansion and it would save significantly more than if we would have repealed it. So as a fiscal conservative, of course I would rather have that and keep it.
With the bill held, Chairman Vander Wouda can bring it back up when or if he decides it's time to do so. He did pitch a bill last session to control Medicaid spending. That was the goal of it. It didn't move very far, but we do know, with that being at the very least, the committee has an appetite to do something about Medicaid. Several organizations, Brian, opposed this bill, including organizations like the American Cancer Society, I believe was one of them. An interesting piece of this, like the work requirement. If somebody has cancer, well, they might not qualify for Medicaid because you're able-bodied, you should be working.
Unless you're getting treatment for cancer.
Well, if you're getting treatment for cancer, you're probably not able to work.
Right.
That was the argument some people had made today.
Okay, so as you mentioned there, not the first time that somebody's tried to put quote-unquote guardrails on this and try to change it up, but like last time, it's kind of stalled for now. So we'll see how that plays out. Thank you, Andrew.